there has to be competition, and when there is competition, then that excitement, that interest is naturally developed. So what's happening, unfortunately, how many series you're seeing which are going in the last 5 overs of any ODI match for the result to come out, so if those kind of results are happening consistently, then that excitement, that interest develops naturally, which did happen in the World Cup. And then see what kind of games World Cup has produced. They weren't like those 300 plus games, but there was even contest between bat and ball, and
yet,
that's something which generated enough.
And yet, of the 48 games in the World Cup, I think there were 11 or so that came close. The ones that came close were thrilling. I mean, you'll always remember New Zealand versus West Indies, right? You'll remember those games.
1 in 4, that's my problem.
Yeah.
So 1 in 4 is not good enough. Also, 1 in 4, see why we still have, and I agree with Zaheer, we were all covering the World Cup and we enjoyed it because every game had a context in terms of the entire tournament, even though that particular contest had nothing. So India playing against, say, West Indies, it was a lopsided event.
But it meant something for somebody else.
Exactly. And for you as well, because you wanted to finish at 1 or 2 or somewhere else.
It's peculiar in the current political context, and we'll stay away from that, but just to put it in, that Pakistan was supporting India.
Correct. And so was...
And then they were supporting New Zealand.
Exactly.
So that was part of the fun of being at the World Cup. And I think to that kind of what Zach says, if you've got 3 or 4 nations playing together, then your team may not be playing, but your team can get affected by what somebody else is.
That's why Asia Cup was not too bad.
Yeah.
Asia Cup was all right. World Cup, of course. Then there is some drama happening. Every game has some context. If there is no context, see, contest problem is that you can't guarantee contest. Now, for that to happen, India will have to say, we will not play Afghanistan, we will not play West Indies, we will not play Bangladesh. Any team that's not challenging us enough, we are not going to play. That's not going to happen. It's unrealistic and it should not happen. But so what can you do? What's the next best thing that you could do is create some context, because context is beyond you. So context can only happen.
So you like an idea of an ODI test championship?
No,
whatever.
so see, ODI has a World Cup every 4 years.
Yes.
So if you're building to something...
You're building to that World Cup.
Exactly.
So should the World Cup then, here's a thought, there's a World Cup every 4 years. Should the World Cup be every 4 years then? Because in between then, as Virat said, and Virat is right, you don't start planning for 2023 today. Do you want a World Cup every 2 years?
See, Champions
So you have
League was very good.
Every alternate year, you have a World T20 or a World Cup, or a World T20 or a World Cup. Every alternate year, there is something to
But that's why those Champions Trophy kind of a tournament was.
But that's gone.
Was good
That's
because
gone,
it started as mini World Cup.
Yes.
It started off like that.
No, it started as a knockout actually. Remember, it's a knockout tournament.
It used to be knockout tournament, and then
where of course
then the format changed.
Where of course we first saw this left-hander, the big jump and the Yorker.
Bowling quick actually.
Yes.
And then it disappeared also for a while, and then it came back, and now it's now the news is that it's going to be scrapped.
Yeah.
So I think there should be more multi-nation tournaments. That's something which can keep viewers engaged through and through when the tournament is happening. Over the period of time, what we've seen now, the T20 is growing. I mean, there is no denying of that fact. You can talk whatever. Test cricket will survive. I have no doubt about Test cricket surviving. It's just the format which is going to take a hit is ODI format. And so to build that interest and to have that following going on, I think multi-nation tournaments is not a bad way of looking at it. So far, everyone has been looking at changing the rules, somehow creating that interest level by having more runs scored. I think that's where the vision is lost. I think the vision should be intact in terms of keeping the competition going. I mean, why T20 format suddenly has grown in popularity is because the games go to the last over, and the unpredictability of the game keeps that excitement going. So for ODI, either you have the strong teams playing against each other, or you have some kind of context which a multi-nation tournament brings naturally to the table. Keep it going, because then every game has some kind of context, and that keeps the following going.
Maybe they should have handicaps like in golf. Team 1 versus Team 9. Team 9 gets extra 20 runs to play with.